Tonight on CTV, students enrolled in semester at sea may need a bigger boat as a COVID outbreak was reported on their vessel, and ASCSU made some adjustments to the election rules just weeks before this year's race begins.
Then, one Fort Collins organization provides special care to our small household pets, as well as a preview for the upcoming softball season.
All that and more on CTV starting right now. Good evening, Rams. I'm Ren Wadsworth.
And I'm Robbie Patla. Thank you for joining us tonight.
A Fort Collins resident has been sentenced to over a decade for distributing fentanyl-laced pills. According to his plea statement, Ernesto Ibarra sold drugs that appeared to be prescription oxycodone. Ibarra sold the phony pills to a man who was found dead in his home in September 2017. Fort Collins police determined Ibarra was responsible for distributing the altered medication through Facebook messages. He was sentenced to 175 months or 14 and a half years in federal prison.
After minor whispers about a possible mask mandate change at CSU, the pandemic preparedness team announced this will not be the case. In an email sent to all students on Monday afternoon, the team wrote that masks are still required in all indoor university locations. The information comes after the Center for Disease Control updated its metrics on how it gauges COVID-19 levels. According to the new data, Larimer County still remains an area of high risk. This is primarily based on the number of new cases a week and hospitalizations in the county. Looks like students will still be wearing masks for the time being.
A semester at sea cruise ship recently saw an outbreak of coronavirus cases on board. The boat holds over 600 passengers, but as of February 15th have only reported 43 cases. Students testing positive spiked after a docking in Malta, an island country in the Mediterranean Sea. Nearly halfway through the semester at sea, Chief External Affairs Officer Audra Brinker reports that COVID-19 regulations are set on board the cruise to protect those on board and on land. Occupants are tested every 4 days, and there is a quarantine section on the ship with heightened ventilation. There have been no recent reports from the cruise line yet about the status of the outbreak or future docking plans for the ship.
Only weeks after ending their mask mandate, Poudre School District will end its regular contact tracing of high-risk events. The district cited a decline in cases and hospitalizations in the county as a justification. They will still be contact tracing outbreaks of 4 or more people, but tracing on a case-by-case basis is gone. Classes experiencing outbreaks will quarantine, but students who are vaccinated and have an exposure outside their family or school can remain if asymptomatic. As well, a new test-to-stay program has been made for students who are unvaccinated and wish to stay in class after exposure incidents. PSD will send free at-home tests to students who sign up through the program. This cuts down on possibly unnecessarily quarantining from COVID-negative unvaccinated students. These changes to PSD's COVID policy took effect yesterday.
Weeks before the next Associated Students of Colorado State University election, significant changes are announced. During their 19th session this year, ASCSU announced they would no longer have ranked choice voting for the elections. Ranked choice voting was introduced to the race for the first and only time in the 2021 election. Instead of ranking candidates, students will only vote once per position. Additionally, the Elections Code Amendment Act was altered by requiring every member of the cabinet to vote for one candidate for president, vice president, and speaker for future elections.
Concrete work on the corner of Prospect and College may make students look for other routes around campus. Lane closures will be common in the next 2 weeks as the project is completed. Crews will be out during the day from 8:30 in the morning until 3:30 in the afternoon. Access to businesses and residents will still be maintained, but delays are expected. More information on road closures and a live map of construction locations can be found at fcgov.com/fctrip. Well, even though these roads will be closed, you may still be able to find alternative routes, if the weather permits it, of course.
Speaking of, Krista McAllister joins us with all you need to know about the weather this week right after this.
Hello everyone and welcome back from the break. My name is Kristen McAllister and I'm here to take you through the weather as per usual. So let's jump right into what it's looking like outside right now. We are sitting at a beautiful 53 degrees. It was so nice outside today, so I'm glad to see that we haven't dropped down quite too low because I do have to walk home after this. We are also sitting at a 43% humidity outside with a 31% cloud cover. That wasn't too out of line for the rest of the day today, but still a little bit cloudy, but not anything too crazy. But we won't have any precipitation coming out of those clouds today, as we do have a 0-inch rain accumulation on the ground tonight. And as I said, we had beautiful weather today. It was absolutely amazing. Those skies were bright blue. Even though there were some clouds, there were so many people out and about riding their bikes to campus, as well as playing on the IM fields. There were people playing spike ball, even someone having a picnic, which I thought was awesome. And the geese are also enjoying this weather just as the students are, looking for some grubs in the grass. And we are looking at some of this snow melting, which I think is pretty awesome. And luckily, because we aren't going to be getting down to too low temperatures tonight, hopefully that snow will continue to melt. In Fort Collins, we will be sitting at 32 degrees, warming up a little bit in Denver at 38, cooling down a little bit by 1 degree at 37 in Colorado Springs, and hitting the lowest temperature along the I-25 corridor in Pueblo at 32 degrees. Looking into the western side of the state, Gunnison is sitting at that lowest temperature at 6 degrees, and the highest over in the west at 30 degrees in Grand Junction for tonight. And as we move on to the eastern side of the state, we're going to be looking at mostly the upper 20s to mid 30s. So not getting anywhere too cold tonight, at least we're not in the negatives. And tomorrow will be a little bit nicer than these overnight lows, though, which is kind of a good thing. 66 degrees in Fort Collins, warming up a little bit in Denver at 70 degrees, a little bit cooler in Colorado Springs at 67, and hitting beautiful 75 degrees in Pueblo. As we move over into the western side of the state, Grand Junction at 58, cooling down a little bit in Vail at 50 degrees, and we have the lowest temperature on the western side in Telluride at 48 degrees. Not really a surprise there. They usually get a little bit chillier than the rest of the state. And as we look into the east, mostly 70s. You got your ranges of low 70s all the way up to 77 in Lamar, which is absolutely beautiful. Let's go, Lamar. And for tomorrow, is it going to cool down? Is it going to warm up? Well, it's going to warm up a little bit, which I'm super, super excited for. I'm going to get my shorts out, and it's winter, so I'm very excited. 65 degrees tomorrow as the high, 34 is the low. It will be partly cloudy, but generally we will see quite a bit of sun. Very low winds, and they will be fairly scattered, 4 miles per hour coming out of the south-southeast, and we will have a sunset tomorrow at 5:52 in the evening. And for the rest of the week, we will be warming up a little bit more, moving into Thursday. 68 degrees is the high, 37 degrees for the low. But then as we enter Friday and the rest of the weekend, it will cool down, and we will get some not so nice weather. Actually, no, just very typical of the winter. 64 degrees on Friday with a 70% chance of rain and snow showers in the evening. This is going to kind of kick off a cooler weekend. Saturday, 43 degrees is our high, 20 degrees as our low, with a 50% chance of rain and snow. And similar on Sunday, 30 degrees, so a little bit cooler is the high, with a 16-degree low, but again, 50% chance of snow. But if we do get any, we're going to have pretty low accumulation rates of less than an inch. Well, I'm looking forward to tomorrow, so that's all the weather that I have for now, but stay tuned after the break because we have more news coming up.
Welcome back from the break, Rams.
Colorado State University is remembering the Holocaust, its survivors, and those who died through an annual event of reverence. Holocaust Awareness Week at CSU will host a litany of martyrs, where the names of those lost will be read by volunteers. A field of flags nearby accompanies the list of the deceased. The litany will be held every day till Thursday from 10 till 2 in the Laurie Student Center Plaza, serving as a constant reminder to all who pass. Denise Negretti-Peters, a senior who has participated in the litany every year, encourages students to stop and listen to the long list and hopes it will have a lasting impact on them.
To really sit with things that are uncomfortable and that you don't know about, and and just be okay with that, and you know what I mean, going in with an open mind. And I just think it's the perfect environment for people to learn.
Holocaust Awareness Week will conclude with a walk to remember held on Friday beginning at 1 on the plaza.
Consistent with Colorado State University's dedication to the climate, the university pledges to cut carbon emissions. CSU has joined the team of universities taking the challenge from the Department of Energy. The Better Climate Challenge invites schools to cut greenhouse gas emissions by 50% and carbon emissions entirely by 2030. This task aligns with CSU's plans for both carbon neutrality and entirely renewable energy before 2040. As an inaugural partner, CSU will serve as an example, and students will share its progress and strategies with other universities across the United States.
Man's best friend may do more than just be our furry companions. A new study at the Veterinary Teaching Hospital aims to understand the response of 3 different medications in hopes to advance Alzheimer's treatment for humans. Veterinary neurologist Dr. Stephanie McGrath and assistant professor in the Department of Environmental and Radiological Health Sciences, Julie Morano, are partnering to tackle this project. The study will specifically analyze existing treatment for canine cognitive dysfunction syndrome, a disease similar to Alzheimer's affecting dogs. 48 dogs showing signs of the disease will be recruited for the study, and it will take around 2 years to complete. You know, this just goes to show that dogs have a lot more going for them than just being adorable.
They do. We don't deserve them. Humans don't deserve them.
No, they don't.
Philosophy. Got to put it out there. Well, our furry canine friends are not the only household companions with a story this week.
Abby McPhail joins us live with more. Abby?
Thanks, guys. Now, I love my pets, especially my cat. This week, I was able to talk with Erica McClellan about Fort Collins' own Colorado Kitty Coalition and all that they do for cats across the country. Check it out.
My name's Erica McClellan. I run Colorado Kitty Coalition, which is a nonprofit kitten and cat rescue. The rescue was started in 2013, and then I took over its entirety in 2018. So I've been running it for about 4 years now. The goal is to get as many kittens and cats adopted and into good, loving homes as possible. We rescue from a lot of out-of-state rescues and local surrenders and strays, just getting them out of bad situations into good homes. My favorite part about running the rescue is probably intake when we get in these large groups of cats, sometimes 30, 40 cats at a time from Louisiana or Mississippi, and just having them in my possession just makes me feel really good, knowing that I'm taking them to really good foster homes, that they don't have to sit in cages, they're safe here, and then we'll find them loving homes soon enough. Every year I try to grow the rescue, have more adoptions, which we've done successfully the last 4 years. But next step for us is we're partnering with a family who's opening a cat cafe in Loveland. So that'll be a really good outlet for adopting out more cats. We're always in need of fosters. Fostering is super fun. It's free. We provide food, litter, everything you need for the cats. You just have to love them, help socialize some of them. You're just the transition into their forever home. So we're always looking for foster homes, and there will be lots of volunteer opportunities when the cat cafe opens as well.
As an animal lover myself, hearing about these cats and their amazing stories was really touching. To find out more about how you can get involved in fostering and adopting cats through this organization, go to cokittycoalition.com.
Thanks, Abby, for fueling my need for animal affection.
Yeah.
Seeing that, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go for it.
No, I was going to say the same thing. All those cats were so cute.
After seeing that, it's really hard for me not to want to go out and adopt one right now. I might just have to do that.
I know. I am craving to get a new kitty myself, but my cat at home, Bella Bo, I think she would hate a new sibling, so we're going to have to refrain for now. But I would love to talk about cats all day with you, Robbie. You know I would.
Me too. We'll do it after the show. It'll be fun.
But Rams, that is all the news we have for you tonight.
But stick around because Emily Kozel will provide a deep dive into the world of sports up next on CTV.